Close eyes. Sit up straight. Take a deep breath. In, out. One. In, out. Two. I'm meditating now. What's that? An itch? Just acknowledge it. It'll go away on its own. I scratched it. I want to talk about meditation and how bad I am at it. I'll describe what happens when I try to meditate, talk about some of my misadventures, and explain why I still like to do it. I've been meditating on and off for years, and I haven't gotten much better at it. Maybe that lack of progress is actually unaligned with the undirected vibe that meditation has. Most of the time when I meditate, I use an app like Calm. Calm is the fast food of meditation apps. It's consistent, it's very popular, and it's quite possible to get next to no nutrition at all out of it. There's literally a section for people who don't have time for a 10-minute meditation. It's called Moment of Calm. It's 1 minute long. Sometimes a little less than that. Moment of Calm reminds me of the experiment where people had the choice between sitting for 15 minutes doing nothing or shocking themselves. Supposedly, most people chose the shock. I have many questions. What if they were just curious about the shock? Also, obviously, these people weren't parents. Most parents would pay to have 15 minutes with zero responsibility. Although I love meditation, or at least I love the way I feel afterwards, I'm terrible at it. I have two modes of meditation. The first one I will call nervous mode. This is when I just can't sit still. The moment I attempt to meditate, I become a toddler. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. All fine. But when there isn't any guidance, I get itchy. I have an itch on my hand. I know I'm not supposed to scratch it. If I just let it be, maybe it'll go away. I try not to focus on it. After some time, maybe 15 seconds, it starts to subside. Eventually, it's gone. And then another itch, this time on my nose. Sometimes I forget and I scratch it. Also, I can't seem to stop my thoughts from just flowing along. What about that deadline I've got later? Or that actor is super cool. Sometimes I think about something my colleague said the other day. You're not supposed to chase these thoughts away. You're supposed to acknowledge them and let them go. I'm not great at that. What does work is something else. I really like counting my breaths. In, out, one. In, out, two. Unfortunately, this practice leads to the second meditation mode, what I call sleepy mode. It just so happens that closing my eyes, not moving, and counting my breaths is exactly the technique I use when I'm trying to sleep. It works really well for that, too. In sleepy mode, I doze off at the beginning of the meditation, sleep through the timer, and awake refreshed when the guide starts talking again. It feels great. It just doesn't seem to be in the spirit of meditation. Despite the fact that I'm terrible at it, I keep trying meditation. I find it really useful. And it's not an achievement task. It's not something that you're supposed to just work on and get better at, like most things in life. One style of meditation I like to do is just free form. I don't exactly know if it's any particular style or any school of meditation. I just kind of came up with it. I just sit and let myself do whatever, as long as it's not anything in particular. I can open my eyes if I want to. I can look around. I just can't talk or do anything in particular. It gives me a lot more leeway, and I find it very satisfying and relaxing. The other way I like to meditate is by going for a run. Going for a run with no audio, no inputs, no podcasts. I'm not sure I would call that meditation per se, but it is this freedom from inputs. And my thoughts just go. I just let my internal monologue flow. So in that sense, it's kind of the opposite of meditation. When I do that, my mind just starts to solve problems. Somehow, I had all these thoughts, I had all these ideas for working on the things that were on my mind. And maybe the inputs that were coming in from elsewhere were just stopping them or pausing them. They weren't letting them come free. These days, when we're constantly on our devices, we forget about how useful our brains are. When I start running, I think, how can I possibly do this for 40 minutes? How can I go that long without any inputs? A minute or two in the run, it's not even unpleasant. I'm having fun. The truth is, it's useful, and it's the freedom that's truly compelling. Freedom from rules of where my mind goes, freedom from devices. My call to action is this: be free of your stuff and your things to do. Spend some time every day doing nothing, and that nothing is its own reward. Thank you.